All right, hey guys, what's going on? So it's Rodney here at 604 Talks. We're back, and today I have my good friend here, Jonathan.
How's it going?
Yeah, today we're just gonna be having like a casual conversation surrounding like cultural diversity in Vancouver. Let's get started. So, Jonathan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
A little bit about myself. Well, I'll say I'm part British and part Thai, and I decided to come to Vancouver basically to study. So I got myself a degree in human geography at UBC, and yeah, so far it's been going good. I'm now working as part of a nursing body, and so far, like life in Vancouver has been going really well for me.
Awesome.
I'm a person that doesn't actually live in the country itself.
Awesome. And how long have you been living in Vancouver?
Living in Vancouver, I would say I've been living here for about over 7 years right now.
7 years on and off, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool. So, from your experiences living in Vancouver, do you think Vancouver is a culturally diverse city?
Cultural diversity, yeah, absolutely. Like Vancouver, I'd say like it pretty much applies to most of the cities here in Canada too. A lot of them are very culturally diverse, and this is mainly because a lot of people that visit Vancouver and they live here, they don't actually come from the country. A lot of them, they actually come from different countries across the world. So you get
Yeah,
people from-
they're like
from
immigrants.
India, you
Yeah.
get people from China, from Japan.
Yeah, so, and also just following what you were saying about the diversity, the cultural diversity that you are feeling, you're seeing in the city. I feel like, yeah, like Vancouver is like a very, diverse city, especially in terms of the diversity in the cuisine. Like you can pretty much find, like various cuisines from all across the globe, like in Vancouver. And if I feel like if and I feel like most people who live in the city, like they are very adventurous about like trying new cuisine, new food, and it does bring people. It does help to bring people together because like when you bond over food, everyone is like pretty happy, right? And then you kind of like have conversations from there, just talking about food and then relating to culture, different cultures and stuff, right? Okay, cool. And Jonathan, do you have any close friends with like a different cultural backgrounds?
Oh, absolutely. So I've got a lot of friends that there's some people that are actually from America that I've been very close to. I've got a couple of friends from China, got one friend from Japan as well. Though he's not living exactly in the country right now, he's actually living in his own country.
Cool.
And yeah, I've got Indian friend as well.
And
yeah, I've got friends that they've come from, like I said, a variety of nationalities, and oftentimes, like you said, Rodney, we tended to bond a lot over food.
cool. Yeah. And Jonathan, I'm just kind of curious. Have you ever been in a situation where you kind of feel, a little discriminated because you speak a different language, or when you're with your friends that are from a different cultural background? So like what I meant is so during all your times living in Vancouver, when you're hanging out with a group of friends who happen to share the same cultural background that's different from yours, so you're hanging out with let's say a group of people who are all Japanese, and you're the only Thai among them, and you guys are hanging out together. And have you been in such situation before?
I'll be honest, in like here in Vancouver,
Yeah.
I've never really encountered a situation where I feel very uncomfortable because of my own background, because I'm among people from different cultures and all that. And I think it's
Okay.
funny because in Vancouver we kind of encourage cultural diversity in a way, mainly because multiculturalism is very massive over here, and it's also part of one of the reasons why I believe that a lot of people do want to immigrate into this country.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, in my case, like I've only encountered a situation where I do feel uncomfortable back in my home country.
Oh,
In
okay.
a way. that's not to say that my home country isn't multicultural. It definitely is. Like, you do see a lot of people from different backgrounds and all that, but as far as experiences go, I do technically feel a lot more comfortable living here in Vancouver.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, and because I feel like when you were sharing your experiences, interacting with people of different cultures, I feel like you were sharing your experiences at UBC, like mostly, right? But like I feel like universities they are good places for different cultures to mingle, to interact with each other and learn about each other. And I feel like people in general on like when in universities, people are generally more open-minded. But because in this channel we are focusing on like the city of Vancouver, the public in general. So we are not just talking about student experiences with multiculturalism on campus. So we are talking about the experiences people have interacting with different cultures in the city. So in the general public. So. And I feel like this is something that I witness living in the city, is that people, who are not, university students, where there's a different environment, right? Universities, but like people in public, sometimes you just see people, they tend to stick with people or hang out around people of the same cultural background. They are not really comfortable like talking to others who speak a different language or look different. Like sometimes and I feel like, and the reason why I started this topic was to kind of explore the cultural diversity in the city. Like, does it actually help bringing people together, like for the entire society? Because when you graduate from university, right, when you start to live in the society as a working professional, you're no longer a student, right? You're a worker or something. People might find it hard to mingle with friends, or and this also applies to like immigrants who move here to work instead of going to school. They might have like a more difficult time to meet people. I can also relate to your experiences as well, actually. When I was in school, I'm graduated now, but when I was going to university, I also met, a whole bunch of different... I also made a whole bunch of friends that are, from different cultural backgrounds. But then, yeah, and I had a good time, I talked to them, I mingled with them, and we were, we became friends, and I learned about different cultures and whatnot. But then it's like, now that I've graduated, so here's one experience that I want to share with all of you, is that that is something that I noticed. I feel like it's related to the multicultural, the nature of multiculturalism in Vancouver. I feel like that's related to the experiences that I'm about to share. So, after I graduated, I worked in a Japanese restaurant for a while. So, when I started working there, so all my coworkers were Asians, but here's the thing. So I speak Cantonese, so I'm Cantonese, and all my coworkers, most of them are Koreans. Some of them are Japanese, some of them are Taiwanese. But one thing that I very quickly realized is that I was the only Cantonese person there, working there. All my coworkers, they were not Cantonese. So, obviously we can all communicate with each other in English, but then, because, and for viewers who are not Asian, you might think that, we kind of all mingle with each other, but I mean, I used to think that way too, especially when I was in university. People are friendly and they talk to each other, regardless of your cultural backgrounds. But then when I started working there, I just soon found out like it might not be the case. So what happens is, I felt that like some of my coworkers, the Taiwanese and the Koreans, they felt a little uncomfortable, and I could feel that they were like unwilling to build a deep connection or relationship with me because I am not speaking their language, you know? And very like this happens every day that at work when I go to work, you see my coworkers, the Korean coworkers, they would talk to each other in Korean, right in front of me. They would share inside jokes that I don't know what they're talking about. And sometimes with the Taiwanese too, like they would be like talking to each other in Mandarin, and I feel like when I'm trying to be part of the conversation, I try to ask them, hey, what's going on, what's funny, right? And they would just become a little like reluctant to tell me, or they were just like a little like taken back. It's like it's like, hey, this guy, this guy, he is not one of us, like, oh, should we share our inside joke with him? It was kind of like that. Like I was very surprised. It was like a very different environment from my experiences when I was in university. It was kind of like so. And I feel like that kind of hit me, just why so many people, they say that Vancouver is a very lonely city and people have trouble making friends. I feel like multiculturalism in Vancouver, in the society, it might actually, it might not necessarily always bring people together. That's just my personal experience. It's like, I feel like not everyone is comfortable with the concept or to engage in multiculturalism. Like sometimes I feel like Vancouverites, they are a little shy, they are not very comfortable with interacting with people of different cultures. That's just, I don't really know why that is the case, but I am just sharing my personal experiences as well, off campus, like after you graduate, after you actually become a member of the society, like the broader society, where you kind of feel that cultural diversity doesn't necessarily bring people together all the time. It's kind of.
And okay, so and also recently I came across an opinion that I was sharing my personal experiences where I felt like cultural diversity didn't really bring people together, right? And recently I came across this opinion that I feel like might be the answer to why that was happening to me. So multiculturalism in our society, in the human society, like I feel like a big part of it is the language diversity, right? Like people speak different languages in different cultures. So like sometimes when people speak different languages, maybe it causes a lack of sense of unity or community because they are not speaking the same language. So people will feel more comfortable like communicating in their own language in a way. So what do you have to say about that?
Honestly, I would say that in a way it does seem to be the case, because I do notice that a lot of people that are pretty much friends with me, I do notice some of them, they basically tend to mingle with people that know their language, and I do see this quite a lot as well. And so I just think that in a way, Vancouverites, they tend to be very reserved, a bit shyer.
Okay.
And
so you think the person's a person's own personality has to do with his experiences interacting with other people?
That definitely could be.
I had a conversation with my friend Jonathan in the hope of finding the connection between cultural diversity and loneliness living in Vancouver. Jonathan shared his opinion that the reason many of us feel lonely has more to do with our own personalities. Although we also exchange experiences where cultural diversity seems to be a barrier for connecting with others. What is your opinions? How does cultural diversity actually help bring people together? Thanks
Thanks for watching the first 604 Talks video on cultural diversity. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel 604 Talks. Also, in the comment section down below, please share with me your thoughts on cultural diversity in Vancouver, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.